Thanks, everyone. Coming back to another segment of the MCR. Mac and me, my name is TJ, coming back at you. Just want to share our thoughts from two ordinary guys that I'll speak for myself, get up and go to work. Others have the luxury of sleeping at their leisure.
Not exactly true because I get up early to do this channel, so
Okay, that's your job.
that's my job.
I wanted to talk about the train derailment in Palestine, Ohio. And yes, I know this happened like, I want to say February 3rd, I believe. So that's a good few weeks ago. But this thing just keeps developing. And people have made observations and comments, and President Trump has jumped into the fray too, now we'll say. But right off the bat, when I first heard about this incident, the Ayn Rand novel, and I never read the novel, but I did see the movies, parts 1, 2, and 3. Atlas Shrugged came to mind, and I'll explain why it came to my mind. You're familiar with it, correct?
Yeah, my daughter read it. She said the movies were fairly accurate.
Okay. For those not familiar with Atlas Shrugged, it's in reference to, in Greek mythology, there was a Greek god, or Titan as they call him, by the name of Atlas. And I guess he did something to tick off the greater gods, we'll say. And so he was condemned to hold up the heavens and the earth for eternity. Okay. And so if you recall seeing statues, you see this muscle man with the world upon his shoulders, that is Atlas. Well, Ayn Rand writes this novel, Atlas Shrugged, and in Atlas Shrugging, he shrugs off the burden of holding up the world. Okay? And like I said, I saw the movie parts 1, 2, and 3, and and I would suggest people watch it at least once. And yes, I will warn people, they're a little on the boring side, not a whole lot of action. I guess you could say political intrigue, because it shows the political backroom bartering that occurs so often, and especially in part 3, it shows how, because of the political backroom bartering, as I'll call it, these guys are trying to save their little pieces of fiefdom, and in the process they completely disregard, I'm just gonna in general refer to it's flyover country. And in part 3, it shows railroad bridges and that type of infrastructure literally falling apart into disrepair. You see where I'm going with this?
I know where you're going. Yeah.
And we're hearing too much about train derailments and whatnot, and I'm thinking this government has become so dysfunctional, and whether the railroad company itself is to blame, or transportation department, or whoever, the whole thing has become so dysfunctional. And then not just the fact that the train derailed, but then their handling of it. I guess they let this chloride gas leak out onto the ground intentionally, and then they were going to burn it only to contaminate the atmosphere. Now you got animals and everything else dying in the vicinity of Palestine, Ohio. Your thoughts so far, Matt? Because I'll keep rambling.
Yeah, it sounds like America's Chernobyl.
Well,
perhaps not on the same scale, but what's going to happen to the people there? I mean, they've clearly been lied to about the danger. Nothing to see here. Just make sure you get vaccinated.
And what you say there, an EPA rep by the name of Michael Reagan, of all names, Michael Reagan, he was telling the residents they need to trust government, and
yeah, that's high on my list.
I read that, and yeah, your response was same as mine. But here we go. We got railroads falling apart. uh, and then piss poor handling of the situation, uh, and you know what? It was in deep red, we'll say Trump country, and so you got the federal government acting like they don't even give a rip, you
No,
know.
that's
And
what you
this is
get
where
for voting
Charlie
for Trump.
Kirk, yeah, well, this is where Charlie Kirk made his statement, like, uh, well, clearly they're in the wrong demographic groups, and I say groups as in plural because they voted a certain way, they're a certain ethnicity, and had they been a different ethnicity, well, this might be a really big deal that needs to be addressed immediately. But because of the wrong demographic groups, it's just, uh, I guess, Buttigieg, as I'll sarcastically pronounce, uh, he wasn't doing much about it at all. At the time this was playing out, he's making speeches about diversity, you know,
Yeah.
and uh, it. I read an article probably I want to say 2 or 3 days ago. President Trump's going to go there and make an appearance, and now the federal government they don't want Trump to upstage them. So I guess now they're going to take a more active role in this whole recovery cleanup because it's still a catastrophe. It's
Well,
so bad. Cincinnati, which is well south of Palestine, Cincinnati is concerned about their drinking water now. That's how bad this is.
well, one thing comes to my mind as you talk about this, and that is that the fact that we, in a previous video, you brought up the question of were lowered standards responsible for the death of Tyree Nichols when these 5 black police officers who practice white supremacy, it seems, beat this man to death, allegedly. So when you have to pick people because they're gay or because they're transgender or because they're a lesbian or what the hell else ever, when you're picking people based on that, and the people like Pete Buttigieg are completely incompetent. The guy had no level of skill for this job. He had no qualifications for it. He was a mayor of a little town, South Bend, Indiana, that if it weren't for the University of Notre Dame would probably be a lot more like Gary, Indiana, after he left. And you know what a
Yeah.
fine place Gary is.
Yeah. One of his nicknames I heard him referred to as is Pothole Pete because I guess when he was mayor, he couldn't keep the potholes filled or something.
Yeah, but he's
So,
going to take care of something serious as this because, well, gay people need to handle this kind of thing, I guess.
yeah. But, I'll go back to my Atlas Shrugged, and you know what? If you want an example of why flyover country feels totally ignored, you almost can't find a better example than this.
Well, just
You know,
imagine this: if the electoral college were gone, like the Democrats want, what the hell? How much worse would it be?
I don't know, man. But these are just my thoughts. And I'll come full circle back to my statement at the beginning of the segment. I just feel like I'm watching our own modern day version of Atlas Shrugged. Infrastructure's fall. You know what? You hear about all the bridges that are falling. And heck, drive
Yeah,
through
chunks of
Detroit,
concrete going through
and
people's
hope that
windshields.
concrete doesn't fall on your vehicle. You know.
70 miles an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of nonsense. It just uh and then I guess the tipping point now Cincinnati and Cincinnati's, I don't have a map in front of me, but it does appear to be a good 100 miles or so south of Palestine. Cincinnati's nowhere close to Palestine, and they're worried about their drinking water
Well,
because of
that's a
this now.
Democrat haven too. So I say drink up, folks.
Yeah,
Trust your government. Drink that water.
yeah. So
Isn't that what they said in Flint?
yeah, there's another example. The whole lead pipe issue and the handling of that, and uh, we we know of one family who uh, appears to have been medically affected by that whole lead pipe poisoning thing, you know, And the thing of it is, it wasn't even the water; it was the pipes that transported the water that caused the contamination. More. You know what? Another infrastructure issue.
Yep.
Here we go. More Atlas Shrugged. I'll tell you. You know, so these are just my thoughts. And if for those who are watching, if you're bored and wondering, hey, what can I watch on in the movies or videos? Try Atlas Shrugged parts 1, 2, and 3, and you'll feel like you're watching what's happening in our society play out in these movies. Okay, and I suppose I'll end with Where is John Galt? And if you want to know what that's all about, watch the movie.
Exactly.
Or Who is John Galt? I've seen bumper stickers on cars. Who is John Galt or Where is John Galt? Yeah, if you want to find out who John Galt is, watch the movies. Okay, a little tease there. Pardon me. Okay, that's all I got. You got anything else, Mac?
No, no, sir.
Okay, we'll call this one a wrap, and we'll catch you in the next one. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.